address the issue that, in my judgment, probably caused the greatest harm to the state of New Jersey. The Democrats, who I like very much, failed to understand that you can't raise 115 taxes and fees over 8 years and expect people actually to stay in New Jersey. So we need to end on what I think is the most important note, and that is to, in order to have a comeback in this state, which I believe has begun under the Christie administration, we need to make sure that our taxes are lowered. Assemblyman Anthony Bucco.
Thank you, Leader. 3 weeks ago, we listened to Governor Christie lay out his legislative priorities to keep New Jersey on a path to recovery and prosperity. As a result of the Governor's leadership and commitment to act in the best interests of the taxpayers, New Jersey has become more fiscally responsible and a better place to do business. But you know, you don't have to just take my word for it. All you have to do is look at the New Jersey Business and Industry's 2012 business survey, which indicates that there has been a dramatic shift in the optimistic attitude of many businesses towards our state government's leadership and the state's business climate. The survey also states that positive ratings for both categories are at their highest levels in 6 years. You know, as I travel around my district, there is no question that job creation and rising taxes are the most important issues facing the people of New Jersey. After dealing with huge budget deficits over the last 2 years, we have made slow and steady progress in the effort to revitalize our economy. That is evidenced by the 60,000 private sector jobs that have been created just in the past 2 years, making us more competitive with our neighboring states. Creating job opportunities for the 400,000 people who wake up every day looking for work in our state must continue to be one of our top priorities. However, as I look at tomorrow's board list for our first General Assembly voting session, it does not appear as though my colleagues from across the aisle have the same sentiment. In fact, the Democratic leadership has stated that their top priorities are to take more from small businesses through an income tax hike and raising the minimum wage by 17%. Those priorities will only serve to bring us back to the failed policies of past administrations. I believe we need to continue the formula of success that has been implemented over the last 2 years by the administration and Republican leadership. This formula is rooted in fiscal discipline and treats taxpayers as a top priority. I can point to 2 public policy issues that we must address, and we, the Republican Caucus, are committed to working in a bipartisan fashion to achieve these goals. First, we need to pass legislation that reforms bloated sick and vacation payouts in the public sector. Local governments have waited far too long for help on this issue, and reform in this area will have an immediate and direct impact on our property taxes. Secondly, we must pass the governor's proposed 10% across-the-board income tax cut for New Jerseyans. The 3-year, phased-in proposal will put real money back in all taxpayers' pocketbooks and help our state's small businesses, since between 11 and 13% of all income tax receipts come from the business sector. As we start this new legislative session, we need to send a clear message to the taxpayers of New Jersey that improving the sluggish economy and lowering taxes for all residents are our top priorities. Unfortunately, tomorrow's voting session does not send that message. Leader?
Thank you, Assemblyman. And you all know, I know you're members of the media and you got some questions, we're going to answer those questions. You all know deep in your heart that we really needed Chris Christie 2 years ago. You knew what was happening. You saw the Christmas tree items, you saw spending out of control, you saw a house that was almost bankrupt even in Governor Cody's. So to add to the Christie agenda, we're going to need some supporters. And we're going to do our best to work with the governor to make those changes. So before we have some other members speak, we're happy to open up for questions. And